Hey guys, it's Rosa here. I hope you're all having a really lovely day. I'm here today to chat to you guys about something which is actually a little bit tricky, I think, or at least I definitely, when I was first starting out with sewing my own wardrobe, I found it really hard. So I thought I would kind of do a little video just showing some of the bits, some of the ideas which I've picked up along the way. And that is for sewing for autumn. So as soon as the weather starts to cool down and you can't make beautiful summer dresses anymore, sadly, like, what on earth do you sew? I mean, it's really hard. And I think when you first start sewing, the first things you make are like little cotton, tops, like little vesty type tops, shell tops. Then you'll make like a summer dress, you make like a little pleated skirt, like all those beginner projects are so like summer friendly, and it's really hard to think, and also like elasticated trousers, like all those things which are like really perfect for summer, really simple to sew with, using like nice lightweight cottons, which again are so easy to sew with. And it gets to when it's starting to cool down and it's like, what do I make? So I think I'm getting better at it. I still definitely find sewing for summer easier. I think, well, that might be true for lots of people, I'm not sure. And the way I did this was by like looking through my wardrobe and seeing what was really bobbly and like what had been worn to death, do you know what I mean? So I was like, well, those are obviously the things which are my most worn. And I'm always really interested in people's videos about the things which they wear the most, because those to me are the things which we should be sewing more of, because obviously if you're wearing it the most, that means you're, it's the best value for money, it's the best use of your time sewing something. So yeah, I'm going to be doing my most worn autumn pattern picks, so the patterns which I think are best for autumn, which I just wear over and over and over again. So let's get going. The first thing I'm going to share with you, I'm going to move this big one out of the way because we can do that one a bit later. The first thing I wanted to share with you was my Sew Over It Citybreak Erin skirt. Now this, I've made a summer version, and of course, as you guys know, this is a fairly recent make. I've made a winter version as well out of this gorgeous pink velvet, and I've actually got another one on the way as well, which you'll see in Susie issue 3 if you'd like. That's a complete lie. Susie issue 3 was before, which you can see in Susie issue 4, which is coming out at the end of November. I'll leave a link down below. But yeah, this to me, a little button-down skirt, and this isn't the only button-down skirt I've used. I've used a Simplicity pattern, but this is my new favourite, so I thought I'd share this one with you. This is one of the things which I just reach for every morning. If I don't know what to wear, I'm like, right, button-down mini skirt and like a polo neck, or button-down mini skirt and just like a long sleeve t-shirt or a really cozy jumper. I think, yeah, you just cannot go wrong with a really, really great mini skirt. And this one's lovely because it has pockets, which everyone loves. I put a little spotty lining in mine, which is just a leftover. And these I think are an absolute saviour in the autumn winter, particularly if you make one in a heavier fabric like this velvet one here, or a corduroy or a denim. Yeah, they're still quite cozy, particularly if you pair them with like a thick pair of woolly tights or leggings. So that's my definitely number one pattern pick for autumn, is a lovely button-down skirt like the Sew Over It Erin skirt. My second pattern pick is, like I was saying earlier, I'm a bit obsessed with polo necks. So I've tried quite a few polo neck patterns. This is going to, make everything really blow out, sorry, because it's so dark. This is the Powler Polar Net pattern by Named Clothing. I've made a video tutorial of me sewing this if you're interested, and again, I'll link that down below. But I get so much use. This is one which I made last winter, maybe 2 winters ago actually. I've made this a while ago, and it's so well worn. You can see it's really it's actually not bobbling too badly, but I mean you can tell that it's been worn and loved over and over again. I particularly like making these in pretty prints, but I've actually made quite a few plain ones as well. So there's like a plain green one which I really like wearing. But yeah, I would really recommend this one. It's really good because you can hack it as well, so that the neck is not as long. So this is how it comes out straight of the packet. So it's like quite a long one, and you obviously you would fold it down. But I've made some where I've kind of reduced it by half, and it's just made like a little turtleneck. So it's quite easy to hack like that. And the other reason I love this pattern is you can hack it into a dress. Here it is, sorry. So this is my Paola dress. So I used the Paola bodice. I just took it in at the waist a little bit. And I used the Powler collar but shortened, as you can see, and I added a really pretty frill. The sleeve is just normal, and I stuck on the bottom. I cut the bodice short at the waist, and I used the Moneta skirt by Colette to add onto the bottom. There we go, I'll move back a bit so you can see. I just love this dress, and I think cozy jersey dresses are just wonderful in the autumn. I just can't get enough of them, because you just stick it on, you're already ready to go. Like, might put like a little vest underneath, a thermal vest underneath, so you're really warm with some tights. But yeah, it's just so handy. And this one I also made last winter, just like this one. And yeah, it's something I reach for all the time. And I think it looks actually quite smart for work as well. So I could wear this at the weekend, or I could wear it, yeah, to work with like a smarter pair of shoes maybe. Not that I had to be that smart for work most of the time, really, because I work with small children. But yeah, it's nice if you have a meeting, you know, you want to wear like a nice dress with some nice shoes. And yeah, I really love that pattern. So that's pattern pick number 2, the Powler turtleneck by Named Clothing. I'll link it down below. Another thing which I made, this is actually really going back quite a while. So I think I made this about 3 or 4 winters ago, and I still am reaching for it over and over again. The fabric has actually held up really, really well. This hasn't piled at all, but that's probably because I don't wash it that often, which makes me sound kind of gross. But I don't tend to wash clothes all that often unless I have to. So like anything that obviously is like touching the underarm area, I will wash that every time I wear it. Or like obviously underwear, I'll wash that every time I wear it, but and tights and socks, all that kind of stuff. But things like a dress like this, which isn't touching any of your skin, because you're layering it over a top and tights, yeah, I wouldn't wash it every time I wear it, because I think that's just, yeah, you don't really need to. So this is the front of it, and it's basically a Simplicity mini skirt, which if I just hold it up like this, you can see it's just a basic, and I can't remember the number, so I'll leave it down below. A really basic mini skirt, just like the Erin skirt. I love mini skirts. Ooh, it's so bright, sorry. I absolutely love mini skirts in autumn. But I put a tutorial on my blog, again, probably like 3 or 4 years ago when I actually made this, of how to hack it into a pinafore. So I drafted this little simple bib and straps, which I crossed over at the back, like this. And this is something you could do to any mini skirt pattern that has a waistband. You can just hack it to add a little bib on. And I've got this really cool brooch on there too, which I really like. What was this company called who made this? I can't remember. What does it say it there? Yes, Sidewinder. That was it, my little Sidewinder brooch, which I think is really cool. Yeah, pinafores. I mean, I love the Clio pinafore, but actually I thought I was, to be really honest with you guys, like I actually wear this one more than any of those ones, so I thought I'd show this one with you because I think I quite like the fitted shape, and the Clios are obviously quite loose and flowing, which I also like on like cozy weekend days. But this is good because I can wear, yeah, I feel like I can wear it when I want to show off, not show off, but I feel like I can wear it when I want to have something a bit more fitted on as well, so I'm not too boxy. So that is my 3rd pattern pick. Well, it's not really a pattern pick, I suppose, but it's just kind of like a fitted pinafore dress. But yeah, I'll leave a link to the skirt down below because it's actually a really nice basic skirt pattern, and the blog post where you can see how to add the pinny bit, the bib bit. The next pattern I'm going to show you is quite a new one, and it is the Seamwork Astoria jumper. Now, I only made this recently, so I can't say that I've been wearing it for years and years, but I have worn it a lot since I've made it, and I think that for an autumn jumper, it's just absolutely perfect. It's not too big and thick and chunky, but it really does fit nicely, and I think it works really well paired with mini skirts, which, as we said, are one of my favourite things to wear in the autumn. So because it's cut quite short, it's got this lovely thick wide band at the bottom, which makes it nice and chunky around the waistline. Yeah, I really think this is a great autumn staple. It's got a nice neckband. It's so quick and easy to make. I mean, you could make this in like 2 or 3 hours probably. I'm pretty sure Amanda from I Sew A Lot made one in like an hour, but as I said, I can never do those things. I'm just not very quick. But yeah, it's a really great simple little pattern, and it's great for just adding a layer of warmth, I think, when it is just getting a little bit chillier, but it's still not like completely freezing yet. Yeah, it's great, and I would always recommend using like a woolly jumpery type fabric. This one's from Fabricland, and they do a really good range of something they call winter jersey, and they now have them on their website. So if this one's on their website, I'll put that down below. But they have lots of different prints, like there's like an owl one and like novelty prints, but also I quite like plain knitwear and also striped knitwear because I feel like it's a bit more practical. I mean, I like a novelty print as much as the next person, but like not to wear like every single day, because you can't have novelty printed everything, you know, because then nothing will match together. So yeah, the 5th thing I'm going to show you is actually something I'm going to put on, and that's a coat which I made this about 4 years ago, and I just find that every sort of autumn time I reach for it again. It's a really simple, big, baggy coat which you just kind of chuck over anything. I'll move back so you can see. And yeah, it's one of those things that's just stood the test of time. I made it out of this black wool, which has worn really well. Like, it's bobbled a little bit, but nothing that stops you from wearing it. It's got like one big button closure at the front, but you don't have to obviously do that. You can just have it open, which is how I tend to wear it. And because it's quite short, it just sort of stops under your bum there. I feel like you can just chuck this over anything. It's a new look pattern. Again, I'm so rubbish at remembering the pattern numbers for like simplicity and new look, so I'll just leave it in the box down below. But yeah, it's really good. It's got lovely big roomy pockets, nice lapels here, which I've got my little brooch on, which I quite like. I love a pointy lapel, although I remember when I made this, I hadn't made many things. It's a really easy coat pattern, so I would really recommend it if you've never made a coat before. But the only fiddly bit was making these lapels. I remember being like, why aren't they working, and just going nuts. Now I know how to do it. I'm like, why was I doing it like that? But like at the time, it really stressed me out because I just couldn't do it. But it's a really basic, easy coat. I'm not quite sure why I chose bright red lining, but you know, I think if I was to make it now, I might make it with like a nice neutral lining, but never mind. No one's really seeing it because I'm not walking around like this. But yeah, I think this is a really, really great little pattern. Super, super easy. Super, super easy to sew and really easy to wear. And it's something, like I said, that every winter I just get back out again. And I just get so much wear out of it. I couldn't not include it in this video. For autumn and for winter, actually. But, you know, obviously we're talking about autumn now, but it's great. Yes, and the next thing I'm going to share with you is something which I've shared with you in my plans video that I've actually managed to finish. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen these already. So sorry guys if you've already seen it. I'm going to do them up. It's my dungarees, my McCall's dungarees, and I'm in love with this pattern. Now, like I said, I haven't made these like years ago, and I can't say that I've been wearing them for years and years. But ever since I finished them, I've worn them at least 3 times out of 7, at least 3 days out of 7. They are so good. They fit perfectly straight out the packet. The only thing which I changed was, not changed, but was I would warn you about is the length of the straps. They are super short. I've got them as like long as they can be, and I'm only 5'4". So if you are a tall woman with a long torso, then you will definitely need to just lengthen these straps. I actually also made them a bit narrower because I realised my dungaree clips that I had were to fit the Clio strap width, and these obviously were a little bit wider, so I just made them a bit narrower, but that only took a couple of minutes. And I also lengthened them so they'd be full length because they're just like an inch above the floor. So they're about an inch above the ankle, but I wanted them to be able to go all the way to my shoes so I can wear them in the winter. They don't need to be cropped. But yeah, I love, love, love this pattern. I cannot recommend it highly enough. They sit high on the waist, which is exactly what I wanted. They've got really gorgeous patch pockets here and on the front and on the back. There's a lot of top stitching. I mean, I used my twin needle. I actually bothered to get that also all rigged up, which I don't often bother to do, so that was quite good. But yeah, I would really recommend that pattern. I think it's just absolutely, it's just a win. And I've worn them to work, I've worn them out at the weekend, I've just worn them to everything, and you feel really cool. Like, I know maybe it's just me, but I feel like really cool in them. I used a lovely stretch corduroy, which is still available, so I'll link it down below because it's just really, really high quality, and it's what they've been washed a couple of times, and they're still looking as good as when I first finished them, and there's no obvious bobbling at all yet, so that's really good. So that's everything for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you found it useful. Yeah, please do give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below, let me know what you're sewing for autumn, we can have a little chat. Yeah, and click subscribe if you'd like to for new sewing vlogs every week. Yeah, that would be really nice. So have a really lovely week. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.